What if I told you that for 20 years, an entire group kept a secret so heavy it could destroy everything they had built? A silence that cost lives, loyalty, and even freedom itself. Today, that secret comes to light. They kept silent for 2 decades. No words, no slip-ups, no signs, just heavy stares and half-told stories. To the world, it was just another motorcycle club. But behind those rusty iron gates, there was a truth that could never escape. Until now, that sweltering summer night, more than 20 years ago, the roar of motorcycles echoed on the road like thunder. But inside the clubhouse silence, they were all gathered, yet no one dared raise their eyes. Something had happened that week, something that could never leave those walls. At that table, clouded with smoke and empty bottles, a decision was made. A decision that would change every man's destiny. They swore silence, a blood oath, sealed not by trust, but by fear. What they were hiding wasn't just a mistake, it was a crime. And not just any crime. Something so serious that if exposed, it wouldn't only destroy the club, it would send men to prison for life. Some would call it self-defense, others would call it execution. But only they know the truth. Police records from that time speak of a violent night, of screams, of gunshots echoing in the dark. But no body was ever found. No evidence. Only rumors and the deafening silence of those who were there. Neighbors claimed they saw trucks moving in and out of the clubhouse. Others swore they heard engines running for hours into the night. What were they hiding? Where did it go? In the months that followed, life never returned to normal. Every meeting was filled with suspicious looks, broken conversations, and glasses emptied too quickly. They didn't speak about it, but everyone knew it was there, like a ghost sitting at the table. And soon, silence started to take its toll. One of them couldn't handle the pressure. Booze, sleepless nights, paranoia, until one night he simply vanished. The body was never found. Officially, he disappeared on the road. But among them, everyone knew the truth. He broke the oath. When one link breaks, the whole chain weakens. From that moment on, trust no longer existed. It wasn't brotherhood anymore. It was a game of suspicion. Who would talk? Who would betray? Who would be next? And it was in this atmosphere of fear that the first betrayal happened. Someone, to this day never identified for certain, started talking. Not to the police, not to reporters, but to the club's enemies. Strategic information, meeting spots, routes. It was as if the oath had turned into poison, eating everything from the inside out. And as with every betrayal came consequences. Ambushes on the road, bikes burned, blood spilled. With every new attack, the same question haunted them. Who's talking? Who's breaking the silence? One by one, faces disappeared from group photos. It wasn't the police taking them away. It was the oath itself, cutting down those who dared doubt it. The secret was no longer just about the past. Now, it was about survival. Keeping silent had become the only way to stay alive. But there was something no one expected. The enemy wasn't outside. He had always been sitting at the same table, drinking from the same glass, smiling with the same teeth. The real traitor was inside the club. By then, no one trusted anyone. Long stares, questions that sounded like threats, meetings that ended in deadly silence. They knew someone was leaking information, but no one imagined who. Because the real traitor wasn't a rookie, wasn't an outsider. He was one of the oldest. Someone everyone respected. The truth began to show in small details. A meeting arranged in secret that mysteriously was interrupted by rivals. Routes changed that suddenly were ambushed. It was as if someone was always one step ahead. And then, one night they decided to test it. They planned a fake meeting, a fake route. Only a handful of men knew about it. And when they got there, guess who was waiting? The enemy. There was no doubt anymore. Someone was delivering every detail. It was in that trap that the mask finally fell. A note intercepted, scribbled in a hurry, gave away more than coordinates. It revealed the traitor's identity. And when the handwriting was recognized, the shock was so great that no one wanted to believe it. It was him, the man they all followed, the most respected, the one who preached loyalty. The one who founded the oath was the same one breaking it in the shadows. The truth was right there in front of them, and nothing would ever be the same. The discovery was like a bomb exploding inside the club. Trust shattered. Brotherhood became silent civil war. There were no brothers anymore, only survivors. And everyone knew. If he had talked once, he could talk again. And every second of silence now cost more than ever. But remember what I told you at the beginning, that this secret wasn't just about betrayal? What they buried that night 20 years ago had never been revealed. Until now. For 2 decades, they kept quiet. Not out of fear of the police. Not out of fear of rivals. But because what happened that night was too big to be revealed. Something that could shake not just the club, but the entire city. That night, when gunshots rang out and screams were drowned, it wasn't just a rival who fell. It was someone much bigger. A powerful name. A man who should never have been there, but was a politician. A businessman. A man of influence. And when he went down, they all knew. Nothing would ever be the same. The body was never recorded. Never buried in a graveyard. Never seen again, because it was buried right there, under concrete, under dirt, under the weight of the oath. And that's why the silence lasted 20 years. Now you understand. It wasn't just about betrayal. It wasn't just about brotherhood. It was about a secret capable of destroying entire families, political careers, legacies of blood and iron. It was about a man who disappeared and never returned. And the most shocking part is that even after everything, even after so many dead, so many betrayals, there are still those who protect this secret. Even today. Because sometimes the truth is more dangerous than the lie. And I know you're asking yourself right now, how do I know all of this? Who told me? And why, after 20 years, is this silence finally broken? The answer is simple. I heard it from the mouth of someone who lived it. I knew one of the men who took part in that oath. For years, I heard fragments, half-sentences, pieces of stories that never made sense. Until one day, he spoke. For the first time in 20 years. He told me, with a trembling voice, staring into the void, that on that night, they didn't just bury a man. They buried their freedom. And each one of them died a little along with that secret. He never gave me all the names, never pointed at every culprit. But he made it clear that the whole truth is still there hidden. Maybe under concrete, maybe in burned papers, maybe only in the memories of the few who still breathe, and that if someone ever digs deep enough, they'll find more than they imagine. Now you see, 20 years of silence wasn't cowardice. It was survival. Because some secrets don't set you free, they chain you. And when they finally come out, they can destroy everything they touch. If this story shook you, now it's your turn to break the silence. Hit the like button right now, because it shows you can handle truths most people can't. Subscribe to this channel, because there are still secrets waiting to be revealed, and I'll bring them all here. Write in the comments, do you believe the truth should be revealed at any cost, or are some secrets better left buried? And share this video with someone who needs to hear this story. Because believe me, not everyone has the courage to listen until the end.